Never Normal is back.
We're together.
Look at us. We're together in the same space.
Do you even believe it? We bought a place together with 2 bedrooms in 1 room.
We're going to get married in Vegas. No, we're really not. So we're here in Vegas for the ClexaCon Convention. And we are, as some of our fans know, which are 0 right now that are watching, we have been in pre-production for season 3 because we're actually working to formally put together a really produced podcast. So
how is that possible?
It's so exciting. So we're at the ClexaCon Convention, which is a queer convention for creative artists that are bringing their own content into the world. So we are running a podcast panel tomorrow at 12:15, where we're going to teach people how to self-produce their own podcasts and educate people on how to do it. And then we're going to start building and structuring our 3rd season with all this amazing feedback here in Vegas. We're at the Tropicana Hotel.
We're having so much fun, except for when our keys wouldn't work. You guys know how that is when you have your hotel key and you put it in the door and it doesn't work.
It didn't work.
And then you're like, okay, like I'm going to go down and have them fix it. But it's different when it's like a regular hotel, but when it's a Vegas hotel, you're walking for a while and there's twists and turns. You can't really figure out where you're going.
It's very like The Shining, like full on. Like
Yeah.
you could run down the hallway screaming "Red Rum."
But so there's drunk people everywhere. There was some guy in the hall that had like no socks on and his shirt off, and he was like, "I'm wasted."
And no face mask. We were more offended by the no face mask than we were the fact that he had no socks or no shirt on.
And he offered us a shot, and we were like, no. But because we're sober.
Which leads us to what we're going to talk about today, because we are going to talk about what it's like to be sober while in Vegas. Woo!
Sober in Vegas. Sober in Vegas. Anyway, I told everybody that walked by that our babies were stuck in the room because we called down and the security came up.
Okay, Jackie's going to give you more of a lead in. So we went all the way down there to get keys and then came all the way back up and they didn't work and they wanted us to come all the way down. And then we're like, we're not going to go back and forth and back and forth. So we call security to unlock the door, but it's taking forever, like an hour. So Jackie's like, let's say our babies are locked in the room. She's like, our babies are locked in the room. 2 seconds later, security comes. So that was our lead-in, is that we pretended that we had abandoned our small children in our hotel room in Vegas.
For the children.
We're like, help the children.
Do it for the children.
Do it for the children.
So here we are. You are our children.
You are our children. Welcome to Never Normal's live broadcast. We're just here to powwow today and tell you guys about the next phase of Never Normal. We've had a little bit of a lapse here as we build our 3rd season, because this is where the magic happens. This is the behind the scenes stuff where you go to conventions and you learn to produce and build your audience and all of that fun stuff. So art doesn't just magically appear.
And become a gamer.
Become a gamer. Or you could just like unbox small products like iPhones and go viral. I don't really know how that works, but apparently that's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Well, guess what? It really goes viral when you have babies unbox their iPhones. But we also did a banjo show in the car on the way here. It's been very exciting.
It's been a very exciting day. Literally, like on the road in the desert, she was playing the ukulele, and they were like, "Renee, will you pull over and play guitar?" And I'm like, my hands are occupied, 10 and 2. That's all I got right now. So
yeah, she said she does finger exercises for her guitar. She really plays guitar.
Well, mean guitar is strong, but I did say that I know finger exercises to get stronger on the guitar, and they're bringing me back next week. So that's
hey. But I learned how to play Monster Mash today on the banjo. Okay.
While driving in a Ford Fiesta in the desert on the way to Vegas.
Sober. We're very sober, and we're running into people that are drunk offering us shots.
But can I just say some of our behavior is worse. Like we wandered into an employee only zone in a cafe here in the Tropicana Hotel because we were slightly distracted on our phones, and they're like, those girls are drunk. And sometimes I have to say in sobriety, I will do dumb shit that I just pretend that I'm drunk because that just seems more sensible for the behavior that I've had.
She blamed that I was on my phone. Granted, I was on my phone earlier, but at that moment I wasn't. And I was like,
I'm readjusting.
I was like, Renee, are we going the right way? And she was like, yes. And then I'm like, okay. And I just kept walking, and then we ended up in the employee section. But we were sober.
So please feel free to comment at any point, and we will respond to you because we figured out how to do that in the feed. We're at the next level.
Do you believe it? Next level. I'm on the next level.
So being sober, I don't sing it.
So good.
Look at how cool this is. We're actually next to each other.
Yeah, we've
touched each other for real. For those people who have ever seen Never Know, we started this podcast while in quarantine. So we've always been on two different screens, zooming in, and hadn't like ever interacted with each other. So this is the first time we have done Never Normal actually touching
Do you believe it? It's unbelievable.
Whoa.
We're together. And then we wouldn't be here if we hadn't started Never Normal. And we started Never Normal because we were both like, we don't want back to normal. Yes, we want there to be no coronavirus. Yes, we want that. But we want a better place, a world, a awesome place. And it seems like a lot of things have come back, fallen apart to get back together. Like I equate that the universe is going through, well, the country is going through like being Maria Kondo'd. Like everything's like getting like thrown out, and then you're getting rid of what doesn't work and putting everything back together neatly so that it works.
Yes.
And you can only keep what sparks joy.
That's true. You can only keep what sparks joy. But you guys want to hear something crazy? I have been traveling because finally society is like opening up, and Jackie and I are both comics. We've been traveling a lot. And like I had a gig in South Dakota last week, and they literally didn't quarantine there. Like it wasn't a thing. There are no plastic shields up. There are no mask mandates. I was doing all of like my COVID quarantine jokes, and these like college kids look like deer in headlights. Like there was no quarantine in South Dakota, apparently, because they don't believe in coronavirus. They have a very, very conservative governor who's basically proverbially fucking Trump. I don't know. Did I say that live? I did.
People die and they die of the coronavirus and still say they don't believe in the coronavirus. It's so weird.
And like, I didn't know that you could just like not believe that there was a global pandemic.
And die from it at the same time.
So needless to say, I don't quite know why they booked me. I'm like, did they watch my demo reel? Since I don't know. That was interesting. I still had a great time, and the kids were delightful, but I was really surprised that coronavirus was like something you could believe in or not believe in.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I did shows in Key West, and they too never wore masks, but mostly everything was outside there, so it's kind of cool. But I did go to a club, and I was the only one in that club. I didn't stay that long. There were smoke machines and everything. But I was the only one with a mask. I had a mask dancing. Nobody else had a mask on. But I didn't stay long. And then, but I had so much fun in Key West. It was really a blast.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I was sober the whole time. I stayed out till 4 a.m. every night, stone cold sober. Who does that?
Who does that? People in recovery that are also in Vegas. So interesting to piggyback on the introduction of the conversation today. we would love to hear your feedback about being sober in Vegas. And if anybody has sober in Vegas stories, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in recovery. You could have just maybe been sober in Vegas, or maybe you had drank too much the night before, and so that you had to be sober the next day because you were sick, whatever. But can I tell you, I've gotten kicked out of more clubs actually sober than before when I was using.
Today we went out to eat and I was just like, thinking about all the times that people probably thought I was drunk. And I'm like, I think I have a friend who's sober that actually got kicked out of a place. And I was like, it's Renee. I'm like, Renee, what happened? So tell me the story.
Okay, so I was in Cabo San Lucas with my sisters. This was like many years ago. And I tried to do like a pole trick on
trick, like stripper?
Not like where you hang sideways off the pole. Like I know how to do this thing where you like wrap my arms and it almost, and I could put like my body almost vertical, not vertical. What am I trying to say? Horizontal to the ground. I used to do this at like bus stops when I was a little kid. Like the bus would go by too fast, and it would like look like I was like the pole blew my legs up.
No way.
It's not really a thing, but I tried to pull off this trick and like almost broke the pole. And they were like, "She's really drunk," and yeah. So there's that. I have also gotten pulled over for drunk driving, but I wasn't drunk driving. And this was like in 2012. And the cop was like, "Ma'am, when's the last time you had a drink?" And I was like, 2009. They were like, "You were drunk drinking." And I'm like, well, I think that's more of an expression. So sorry, I was over the line. But if you give me the test right now, I assure you I will pass it. That's what happened.
I love that.
Yeah, I love getting kicked out of place. But there definitely have been times where, especially like in relationship, where I feel like I tell this story like it happened when I was using, like in my active addiction. But the truth is, like, I'd been clean and sober for many years when the story really happened. But I feel like it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm not normal.
Yeah.
But speaking of not normal, I've had people ask me, like, do you even have fun in Vegas because you're sober? And I think there's this misconception that
somebody was trying to take off their shirt in here earlier.
Yeah, it was hilarious. The security guard. We actually harassed him a little bit and asked him to take his shirt off.
Lingering.
He was lingering. Yeah. That sounds
but when I was in Key West, see, we just got here. We really just got here, and we've just been like looking to get in our room with moving rooms and keys.
Yeah, we only got here at like 4.
Saying it's our babies are in the room. But when I was in Key West, I went to this lesbian pool party, right? And everybody's wasted. But I'm on top, like around this edge of the pool, just dancing. And then I took, the pool noodles.
Oh, yeah.
I took like a skin colored one and I was pretending that it was a strap on. And there were girls like with no tops on, and I was like putting it between their boobs. And it was so amazing. And I'm like, anybody that walks in here, like everybody, if they were going to be like one person's wasted in here,
it's the girl with the pool noodle.
It's the girl.
Can I just tell you what my motto is?
I was solely sober. I was sober, strapping a pool noodle to me and booby, with the pool noodle. I was just like at the side of the pool with this giant pool noodle. It's so funny.
Whenever I think that I maybe won't be successful as an independent artist, I think to myself, there's a billionaire out there that created the pool noodle.
And I used it as a strap on.
And she used it as
topless ladies with great breasts. There was even a breast contest. There were all these women there. It was a great day. I had a lot of fun.
Amazing. Speaking of being having fun, total perfect segue. When I had 5 years clean, I went to Dinah Shore with a group of friends and won Lube Twister, and it got me one of my first TV gigs. Okay, we were playing. I will explain. We had to play that game Twister, but they were squirting us with lube the entire time while we were playing Twister. So it was really hard, obviously, not to fall and like completely eat shit. And it was down to like me and one other woman who happened to like be a producer of this loop group for Disney. And like we were stuck in this position where neither one of us were willing to fall. And they were squirting us with lube and squirting us with lube. And she's like, if you fall and you let me win, because there was like a cash prize. She's like, I'll bring you on to my loop group. I'll give you a role. And so I just like fucking fell. I was like, oh, whoops. But I totally could have maintained my position.
How much money did you lose?
like $500. But then she really called me and hired me for a loop group. And I did like ADR, which is additional digital recording for those of you who don't know, like for Brothers and Sisters and the Backyardigans and all these like Disney shows. And like, it was really fun, literally from fake losing lube twister at Dinah Shore sober.
Did you? I'm to Dinah Shore.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's kind of
it was
awesome.
a blast. I had so much
It's
fun.
so weird to look at you live. Like, this is what's really interesting about doing this together in the same room. Because I'm like, do I look here at my camera or do I look at Jackie? But I don't have a very good profile.
Always look at me. So Dinah Shore lube twister. So how much money did you make during doing the ADR?
Well, I did a bunch of gigs. It was like they paid SAG day rates. It was like $800, and
so you made more money. You made more money, and you got some credits.
Totally, like she brought me in for years.
This is how life works, you guys. And this is all thing. When I always felt like when I drank that I was like, you feel like you're closer to where everything goes in synchronicity. But really, when you don't drink, that's when the synchronicity aligns and you get like cool stuff like that.
I agree with that. Like somebody said, I agree. See, I sound drunk. Somebody said to me once, like, oh, that really sucks. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said like, oh, that's such a bummer that like you don't have the same freedom that I have. And they were drinking. And I'm like, I have so much freedom. Like I play like a child. Like that's what children do. They just happy, joyous, and free, and they're fully like liberated, and they don't need to alter their state of consciousness. And sometimes when I like pretend that I'm drunk in events like this, where I'm at Vegas, it's almost because I'm trying to be normal and adhere to what adulting is and what normal is in our society. When you adult and socialize, drinking is a part of the equation. So I think people think that we're missing out when we're adulting and not drinking, especially in Sin City. But we're having a blast. Sin City.
Yeah. Well, I think that we should do some research for the rest of we have to go.
Yeah.
We got to go have some more fun.
We're going to have some more fun, but you guys, you have to tune in to Never Normal, and please feel free to message us here or in the comment box about any suggestions of topics for episodes for season 3. We will feature you. We will give you a shout out if we are inspired, or not if you don't want to, but if we are inspired by unanimous or unanimous. If you're the only one who responds, I guess it would be unanimous.
Ask us questions too.
Ask us questions.
We have
Send
all
us
the
some
answers.
questions.
Any question, we have the answer. Name a question.
Any question the entire
Name a question. We got the answer.
We've had a blast. We'll give you guys more updates here from the Tropicana in Vegas.
Thank you. We love you. We love you.
We love you. More news for Never Normal coming to you real pretty soon. Thanks everybody for joining us. Have a good night.
We love you.
Is that a heart? That's a heart.
That's our gang symbol.
That's our gang symbol. Never Normal gang symbol. Adios, everybody.
Oh, we could do it together.
Oh, because we're in the same room. That looks ridiculous. Did we do it? Slaying it. Bye, everybody.
Cute. Did you like it? Are you still like it?
We're not anymore.